3 days after Vissel Kobe of Japan hammered Thai side Chiangrai United 6-0, the two teams meet again in the return match at the Buriram Stadium in Group J of the AFC Champions League. Massive test of character this for the 2021 Thai FA Cup winners, whose opponents have left their domestic worries back home in Japan, where unexpectedly they're bottom of J1, but very much top of Group J in the Champions League bubble here in Thailand, with 2 wins from 2. The 6-0 over Chiangrai, supplementing the 2-1 win over Hong Kong champions Kitchi on match day 1, meaning Kobe are on course to go through to the last 16 as group winners. Shanghai Port's withdrawal left this group short-handed, which has forced the AFC to change the way qualification is assessed. The 10 group winners are guaranteed qualification to the last 16. The 6 best runners-up will join them, 3 from the West Zone, 3 from the East Zone groups, with results against the bottom teams in the section scratched out. It's looking good for Kobe at present. For Chiangrai, they absolutely need to win here to have any hope, and even that may not be enough with an unlikely win. They lost their other match in this Group 2 9 days ago against Kitchi 1-0. Scored none, conceded 7 is the rather disheartening reality for Chiangrai in this group, but anything can happen. Still very hot here. 30 degrees deep into the night in eastern Thailand in Buriram, the venue for 2 of these Eastern Zone groups, as well as our 3 teams in Group J here. This city is the base for Urawa Reds, Daegu FC, Lion City Sailors and Shandong Taishan in Group F, and that's a thrillingly open group, by the way. 3 sides on 7 points there, with 2 matches still to play, including Daegu against Shandong, the next match on this pitch at the Buriram Stadium in 48 hours time. This brutal format, which punishes slip-ups and rewards the teams with the conviction to win the groups and not necessarily just play it safe and tactically and settle for a spot amongst the top 2. The Panthers really need to roar here. Chiangrai United, new kids on the block really in terms of the continental scene. Didn't have much of a presence in club tournaments around the region, either in the Eastern Zone here or as across the AFC Champions League zone as a whole, but 2018 was their first AFC Champions League qualification. They enjoyed it so much, they've stayed in the competition ever since. But it's a massive undertaking here to try and disrupt the rhythm and the winning sequence of Vissel Kobe, who were glad to get away from their homeland. It's been a disastrous start to the season. They've already changed coaches, Vissel Kobe, after a most unexpected winless opening to their J1 campaign. 10 matches in and they haven't won a match yet. Miguel Angel Lotina is the coach that's come in for Atsuhiro Miura. Hasn't yet had a month in the job, Lotina, on the bench here for Vissel Kobe, but a change of scenery, change of coach and a change in fortunes as well. They're flying high in the group. It looks like the right decision. Well, we're in biosecure bubbles here in the AFC Champions League again, because the COVID pandemic hasn't gone away. But limited supporters allowed inside the stadiums, and that all adds to the sense of occasion. Technically, Chiangrai, something of a host team here. Chiangrai, a city in the far north of Thailand. Some 800 kilometres northwest of here. Buriram, we're due east of the Thai capital, Bangkok. Five minutes ahead of kick-off here. And here come our teams. A couple of changes made by both coaches as far as the Japanese are concerned. A couple of players being rested for the final match in the group. We should have been having Kichi against Shanghai Port today as well, but as we know, Shanghai Port withdrew because COVID has erupted again in that part of the world, making logistics simply too difficult. Chiangrai conceded after 6 minutes in the first match to Yuya Osako. A much more solid opening to this game is an absolute necessity. So 5 changes for Chiangrai, including a new goalkeeper in Sananom Anuin Katakohei, and Sevako and Theatrakol return to the midfield, having been dropped for the first match with Kobe, joined by Sinakon Tinjom, who makes his first start of the competition, having come off the bench to right back. Sarawak Inpayen appears in the competition for the first time this season. Today's officials are from Iran. Bijan Hidari, the referee, assisted by Hamed Al-Ghafri and Sama Bade Pitiwa, Sukhjitama Kol and Otaru Yamaguchi, the 2 captains there. Yuki Kobayashi and Tomo Makino return to the Vissel Kobe defence in place of Reo Hatsuse and Leo Asaki respectively. Bajan Kirkic to assist the strikers Osako and Inui. So 3 changes to the starting 11 that ripped Chiangrai apart in the first match. Osako and Goke scored in that fixture. 3 of the other 4 Kobe goals went to Moya Yaruki with 2 and Yusei Ozaki, both of whom are on the bench here if Latina needs goals, and that would equate to things not going to plan for Vissel Kobe. The Japanese team start as the big favourites again in this match. Surya Singmui there comes in on the left-hand side of the defence with Dinjon and Brinner, one of 2 Brazilians they have. Brinner, the centre half, his compatriot, the 30-year-old Gettison, is the main striker. Yuya Osako, mainstay of the national team, and Otaru Yamaguchi, 4th year for the skipper. Gotoku Sakai, accomplished at full-back as well. And Daya Mekawa keeps his place, Champions League goalkeeper this season for Vissel Kobe. Group J of the AFC Champions League 2022, Chiangrai United versus Vissel Kobe. Thailand against Japan. It's been a good day already for Japan in this competition, with Yokohama F Marinos putting 3 past Sydney FC in Ho Chi Minh City to go back top of Group H. The Jeonbuk Motors can overhaul them again, though, if they beat Hoang and Gia Lai in a match that has also just kicked off. Japan will be hopeful of getting all their teams through to the last 16. Not a surefire thing at present, but Vissel Kobe certainly should be there. They have just a couple of Thai teams in the group stages. Pathum United, the champions of Thailand, top of Group G, after beating United City yesterday. The two other Thai teams entered into this competition, didn't survive the qualifying rounds. Buriram United missing out on the chance to play at home, and Port FC, second and third in the league, were beaten by Daegu and Ulsan Hyundai. Alankorn Thong Am supports the head coach of Chiangrai, who's the Brazilian Emerson. And Miguel Angel Lotina is the competition's freshest coach. Kobe went Spanish after sacking Miura at the start of the month because of Kobe's eye-catchingly poor beginning to the J1 season. Bottom just 4 months after Atsuhiro Miura guided them to the highest ever league finish of third. Still ended up 19 points behind the rampant Kawasaki Frontale, the dominant force in Japanese domestic football, winners of 4 of the last 5 titles, the last 2. Those last 2 championships were won in absolutely scintillating fashion, by the way. Runaway champions in each of the last 2 years, Frontale. So Getterson has presence about him. Come in to lead the Chiangrai attack ahead of another Brazilian they had, Bill, who led them to the cup win last year. And it seemed to be a handball. They've got Inoue and Osako. They're playing forward here. That's Vizura. And Bojan Kurcic, who comes back in to support the attacking players. A part of this Barsification approach to the setup at Vissel Kobe. We know that Andres Iniesta isn't here in Thailand at these group stages because of an unspecified injury, but it was a really big deal to lure him to Japan after the 2018 World Cup. Andres Iniesta. Bojan Kurcic here now. They had Lucas Podolski at Vissel Kobe for a while too. So 33 Sarawak Inpayen on the right hand side of the 4 at the back for Chiangrai United. 2 Japanese players in their ranks as well in midfield. Hiroja and Katoko Hai, 28 and 4 respectively, and that is Kohai Keito, a 32-year-old. Sukhjitama Kul lifts the ball over the top. It was Vizura. Sivakun Teatrakul. Teatrakul wearing 10 here. Hirota. Kohai Keito, good running. Getterson down the right-hand side. Makawa has to make the save at his near post. Well played. Getterson into Teatrakul. Much better start here from Chiangrai United. Well, they conceded about this time in the first match. So that's a Sarko finish. Well, interesting comments from Emerson Pereira, the head coach, who said he was reasonably pleased with a lot of what they did. It was individual errors that cost them. Certainly a fresher, brighter start here from Chiangrai. They forced a corner. That's the Brazilian Brenner who tries to get there. There's a skim off that head at the near post. He carries it out for a corner from the opposite side. So Makawa down smartly. No goalkeeper likes being beaten on his near post. Makawa made sure he wasn't there. There's all sorts of room for Gettison to run into down this right-hand side. In comes the corner. That should be the goalkeeper's. Well, it should have been, but he missed it completely, Makawa. And a nervy opening here from Vissel Kobe. Nothing wrong with the delivery, absolutely no pressure there on Daime Mekawa. Oh, carries through. And the player there, it's Hirota, who doesn't gamble. Could be in for an interesting night here. That's Kobayashi. Gonna have to come back towards Anuin here. Tied it up by Brenner. The pressure on the player in possession. And yeah, it's going to be an early yellow card actually for Surya Singmui. Well, they just lost control a little bit here, trying to play it out of defence. You can have a few complaints there at Singmui. Here's the free kick. Goalkeeper punches clear. Might drop for Yamaguchi. Comes all the way back there from Gotoku Sakai. Well, the tempo very low from Vissel Kobe here. Yamaguchi, the former Cerezo Osaka player, an ever-present over the last 4 years in that Vissel Kobe midfield. Sakai with the cross. Inoue couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell. Sakai with the throw. Here's Makino. Makino picks out the pass. And, well, you have to say it's sloppy from the attacking player who's got a clear view of the line there. So this was the free kick. Ikuchi Ryo was furthest forward, and Saranon Anuin with his first intervention of the match. Bojan. 4 orange shirts around him. Rid him of possession too. Theatrical. Good little burst that. Taking up the position wide left, Sivakun Theatrical. He scored the goal in the FA Cup final just over a year ago now. They drew with Chonburi and won all of it, ended up winning it on penalties. High stakes penalty shootout there to enable them to qualify for the Champions League. And Brinner clips the pass over the top. Nothing doing there for Kohei Keito. Kikuchi at the back. Sakai. Sakihiro Oigara wearing 33. No hint of offside that time. It was a good ball to the far side. And the little shimmy and the shot over the top from Yuta Goke. Latina, much travelled. Spanish coach has ever won the AFC Champions League. Latina's last job also in Japan with the Shimizu S Pulse. Bit of a career in Japan, being built after stints at Tokyo Verdy and at Cerezo Osaka. Keito. Gettison drops short. Challenge is a little clumsy. They came in to try and give them a bit of extra threat up front. Second half of the domestic season, did Gettison. Joined from Saudi Arabia, where he was at Al Ain. Vithiwat in Payen, gives it back to Brinner. Suriya. Oigara, just a little bit pedestrian there, Chiangrai. But they do have the ball back. Sarawut in Bayern. Gettison. Keito. That was Vissel. Gettison again. They're trying to play their way through. It's theatrical. He's shut down by Sakai. So it's going to be a goal kick. It's the Kikuchi who gets across, the centre half, alongside Makino there. Well, one step at a time, I suppose, for Chiangrai United, and already they've held out longer than they did in the first match, and the Kobe are making all sorts of silly mistakes. No score after a quarter of an hour's play here. AFC Champions League action continuing in the Eastern Zone. That's poor. The ball given away to Bojan Kirkic. off. He pulled his shot. There were options. Osako, left-hand side. And a runner in Inoue on the left as well. This wasn't the right kind of decision-making, really, from Bojan. Not scored for them since October. Just the one. The J-League goal came in a 5-1 win over Urawa Reds. Sergi Samper is the other Spanish player they have. They look to create a footballing culture in Kobe. Another of the former Barca boys, Samper. Clear studs there by Gettison, shown to Tomoaki Makino. Emerson Pereira, been in charge of Chiangrai for 18 months now. Took over from another Brazilian, Alex Gama, who could also be seen in this competition, having wound up at Daegu FC. Yamaguchi. Makino. Very calm presence there. Makino wearing 14 at the back. Good distribution as well. It's a delightful little clip over the top, looking to play in Inoue Shion. Well, he's a former Champions League winner with Urawa Reds, is Makino Tomoaki. In both legs of the 2017 final. They beat Al Hilal. No mean feat, that. Al Hilal, the current AFC champions. The victory over Pohang Steelers late last year. Tomoaki again. Oh. Well, it was a super attempt at the crossfield. Great vision. Itagoke just can't quite stretch to keep the ball in play. Yamaguchi for Bojan. Itagoke. Out comes the goalkeeper to punch away. Drops almost for Yamaguchi. And that looked to be a little bit of a reach by Inoue Shion. Just clumsy more than anything, bringing down Pituat. So mistakes clearly have been learned. A long way to go, of course, in this match, but Chiangrai very much holding their own here against Vissel Kobe, unlike 3 days ago. Kobayashi Yuki. Gets airborne and collides with the shoulder there of Koei Keito. Bojan, quick feet, well played. Ryuichi Hirota there, winning the ball back. It comes up to Theatrical. Kobe get back organised. In Bayern. Oh, nudge back in field there to Vissel. And Vissel, just cute play, draws the contact, draws the challenge from Yamaguchi, and then tumbles accordingly. Gianata Vissel, this interesting midfielder. Italian nationality, but almost a naturalised tie. He's been playing there his entire career. In Bayern. So having plenty of the ball, haven't been able to breach that back line though since the opening few moments, since that 5th minute with Getterson setting up Theatrical for the game's best chance so far. Now Chiangrai on the end of that 6-goal thumping, but certainly not the only side to be well beaten in this group stage. The 1 or 2 hammerings dished out. That's Yamaguchi winning the ball back, just able to slip it through. It's going to come through to Gokge. Good covering challenge. It was Brinner who got across to shut down Gokge Yuta. Oh, he strained every sinew here to get something on that shot. That's terrific defending. But that's the kind of individual mistake that the coach was referring to that undermined them in the first match. Corner has come short and then been given away very sloppily again from Vissel Kobe. Kohei Keito. Bitiwat, oh, not a million miles away from the captain. Again, was it the right choice? He certainly had the players up in support. Fancied it. Captain's prerogative, I suppose. Chiangrais 6-0 defeat, not quite as bad as Guangzhou's 8-0. On the receiving end of a hammering dished out by Kawasaki Frontale in Group I. Some other big scores. We've seen quite a few 5-0ers. In the Western Zone, a couple of hammerings have been handed out as well. Al Gharafa beaten 8-2 by Shabab Al Ahli. It's a pretty gruelling schedule with teams playing every 3 or 4 days. Tired legs, and mistakes happen. Well, not the best piece of distribution that we're going to see from a goalkeeper, that from Saranon. Getterson has it. Again, Vissel Kobe very sloppy with that throw in. Ryuji Hirota waits for the overlapper. It's Kohei Keito, his Japanese compatriot. And the cross towards the far post. Sakai gets nothing on it. Kept in by Tinjon. Arrows it into the near post. Again, a really loose clearance up in the air. And the shot from Yobata Vizura breaks again for Kohei Keito. Vizura once more. Keito skips back to get away from the challenge of Bojan. And then hoisted into the box. That should be Makawa's. That's still his save from that early attempt by Theatrical that has produced the game's best moment so far and the closest we've come to a goal. That's most uncharacteristic from Makino Tomoaki. Well, the settings are just a little off, aren't they? The dials are down as far as Latina's Vissel Kobe team are concerned here. Goke Yuta has Inui Shion ahead of him. Cross comes Bidewat. Another lackadaisical end to a bit of Vissel Kobe possession. Now they've snapped it back. Sako with a give and go. Good challenge. In Payen comes across. And this time Chiangrai have given it away. It's surrendered in turn. Kohei Keito gets it back from the captain Pitiwat. And Keito with the long diagonal. Well, it's a potentially lightning-quick combination down that right-hand side. Sakai Gotoku and Goke Yuta. But the rhythms haven't been there from Vissel Kobe in the first half. Theatrical. Gettison. Keito. In Payen. So Sarko, a quick one over the top for Bojan to chase down. They'll have to wait for teammates to support him here. Cross slid in by Kobayashi Yuki. Sakai Gotoku. Yamaguchi. Very loose from Aigara. Half an hour played. It's the Buriram City Stadium. Chiangrai United 0, Vissel Kobe 0. Been a huge improvement from the Thai team here. Sakai Gotoku. Goke Yuta. pass again. Way off target. He needs a lift. He needs to G them up. Kohei Kato with the throw here. Getterson. And Bojan back. The referee overrules his assistant there. And the throw-in ends up going Chiangrai's way. Quite have the guile to find any room there. That's a nice little ball around the corner by Osaka Yuya for Inui. So Sakai forward here. Might have to give it to Yamaguchi. Instead it's Ogihara. Bojan. Kobayashi. Bojan. Big hoist to the far side. There's too much to do for Inui Shion. Well, Bojan picking out his colleague on the opposite flank. Well, perhaps the oppressive heat, perhaps the late-ish start times are affecting these teams. 9 p.m. local time kickoff. Tends to be humid most of the time in this part of the world. Well, we have had rain just to break the oppression here. It might not be particularly pretty, but Vissel Kobe still in control of this group. We feel that technically they are the superior team, really, but what good is that if you don't apply it? So many passes, touches have gone astray here from the Japanese side. Makino Tomoaki. Kobayashi Yuki. Good challenge there on Bojan. Working in tandem, Ryuji Hirota and Kohei Kato. And then Ryuji does well, a little ball on the, or over the top here. So Kohei Kato remained very much stationary, didn't gamble there. He decided not to push on. And there looks like being a problem here for Bojan. One or two nice little flashes of inventiveness, but not too much impact on this game thus far. And they're already readying a substitute as well. It's a blow for Vissel Kobe. Bojan Kirkic there. He has come out of that okay. Maybe he's just pulled something, twisted something. Well, no Iniesta because of injury, and here another of Vissel Kobe's Spaniards. is replaced very early on, way earlier than Miguel Angel Latina would have wanted. So Koya Yaruki comes on, scorer of 2 goals in the first match. So, the 26-year-old enters the pitch. He scored his first goals for Vissel Kobe since last October, 16 matches in the first match. Formed part of the backbone of the 6-0 win, that brace. Given away, it's a blind pass, and he was punished here. Osako, well, it's a good job. Tinjon didn't shoot from there. That's support with Singmui. And credit Kobe, they get back, well organised, pretty much everyone back. Now Inoue helps out the defensive effort. Theatrical. Uzura. And no option, so they have to go around the houses again here. The Chiangrai United. And the pass from Singmui. Tinjon. And there's the press. Going to come all the way back to Anuin in the Chiangrai goal. Sakai, his touch was a little loose. The Pitiwat was able to nip in, and then Tinjon, no. Again, it wasn't the right call, surely, from Senekran Tinjon. No, hitting that early, and it's a frustrating watch, really, when you work hard to get the ball back, have possession again, only to then see an end product like that. Closest we've come was that 5th-minute attempt for a Sivakorn Theatrical from Getterson's pass. Been quite turgid since, certainly from a Vissel Kobe standpoint. Thumped into the stands, thus preventing Gota UK from getting in down the right-hand side there for Kobe. Now, despite the apparent drop in quality, you do sense they have it in them, don't they? A quick moment of inspirational brilliance. What can Vissel Kobe produce from this corner? Wait for that pack of white shirts to split in the middle. Good strong header from Brinner. And then Yaruke back over. Oh, the flag had stayed down. Finally, it's raised by the assistant on the far side. A couple of opportunities for him to do that, to pull-up play and to halt that goalmouth scramble. Certainly it was a relief for Chiangrai here. 2 defenders going in to deal with the threat of Tomoaki Makino. That's before the ball just squeezed clear. He's someone you want alongside you in the trenches, isn't he, Brinner? Makino. Getterson hunting him down. And then the big diagonal. That's better. Goke Yuta has Sakai going up ahead of him, and Sakai sends over the cross. Getterson tumbling with his opponent. Well, there was a real sense of clatter about that. They get the free kick at least here, Chiangrai. Played in Europe, Getterson. Maritimo for plying his trade, coming over to Asia, and stint with Al Ain, Pohang Steelers. Makino with the header. Tinjon, Inoue has picked his pocket there, slips it onto Osako Yuya. And then Osako just can't stay on his feet inside the area. Yuruki tries to help him out. But that's a turnover in possession where you think, right, there's an opportunity here. But despite the initial burst, Vissel Kobe can't translate it into anything approaching a shot that might test Serenon Anuin. Osako has had a very quiet match here. He's a striker of real quality, mainstay of the Japan national team, a multiple scorer in the recent World Cup qualifying campaign. Only really needs one sniff, that type of striker, but not much hint of it thus far. Inoue, that's better. Just caught after he poked that ball round the corner, looking to get Yuruki in.
Hey, your hand, your hand. Your hand, number 14. Hey.
Free kick for Vissel Kobe. Looking for someone to nod it across. Goke Yuta there. Well, you thought it fell kindly for him, and we're just waiting for the laces to connect. It was a deft little ball to the far side from the free kick. It's Kikuchi who manages to get a touch on it and set up Goke Yuta. Well, from a Vissel Kobe attacking point of view, that rather sums up the first half, that little vignette there. We're going to have 4 extra minutes. It wasn't the best throw. to Getterson. As white shirts just converging on him. Uehara. Kobayashi Yuki. Back to Makino. So back with the centre halves, they have either Teatricul or Getterson pushing on to close down the defender in possession and force Vissel Kobe all the way back to Mayakawa, the goalkeeper who has made the big save really when Getterson set up Teatricul after just 5 minutes of this match. Vissel Kobe have put in a very turgid showing since then. The Chiangrai are the team that have shown all the endeavour and the attacking intent in truth. Will Kobe get going in the second half? No goals at the midway point here, Group J of the AFC Champions League. And it is at Chiangrai United, 3 days after being defeated 6-0 by Vissel Kobe, who are doing far better this time round. It's 0-0 at the break. We're just about ready then for the second half to kick off here in Buriram, Thailand. AFC Champions League Group J. Chiangrai United 0, Vissel Kobe 0. 82 completed matches thus far in the group stage of the AFC Champions League 2022. We've only had 7 goalless draws. There have been 232 goals in those matches. Works out at an average of around 2.8 a game. And we've had a couple of big scores elsewhere in the groups. Oh, they can't all be 6, 7, 8 goal thrillers, can they? What will the second half produce here? There's absolutely no doubting that the Chiangrai United have lifted their level considerably. Conceded 4 goals in the first half alone in the first match against Kobe. But much more well organised here, have stamped out the mistakes and perhaps should have been ahead with that theatrical effort early on from Gettison's cross, well saved down low at his near post by Daia Meikawa. I don't think it can be disputed really that Vissel Kobe are not firing on all cylinders today. The changes made to the starting lineup, and Bojan Krkic has had to be substituted because of an injury in the first half as well. There's too many passes just haven't come off for them. And the understandings, the individual understandings between players as they try and work combinations, not quite there thus far for Vissel Kobe. This team who were kind of founded in 1966, I suppose you would say that the franchise was founded. Kawasaki Steel were a corporate team from Kurashiki in Okayama, the prefecture. Kobe coming forward, it's Inoue Shion who couldn't latch onto the cutback, and Chiangrai eventually shovel it away. But that particular team was moved to Kobe in 1995. Japan's 7th largest city, Kobe, on the southern side of Honshu Island. Ball rolled into the near post, away by Brinner, who's a really committed defender, the 34-year-old Brazilian in his 3rd year with Chiangrai. And Inoue Shion just tries to shovel it wide. Here's Kobayashi Yuki. First touch there by the substitute Yuruki, who's come in for Bojan in the first half. And we can get underway with the throw-in again. That's Asako, a useful layoff. Players up in support, swung in by Sakai, too high for Yuya Asako. Out of play. Again, the final ball lacking. There seems to be just a lift in the impetus. But still no more quality in that the final third of the pitch where the action needs to happen for Vissel Kobe. Inoue Shion there, it's very sloppy. Into Gettison. They were waiting for the offside flag. Eventually it is produced. First time Gettison's been hit in this second half. Again, you want to slow it down, go back and have a look at it. No VAR, remember, in the group stages of the AFC Champions League this season. Some will lament that, some will say, thank goodness. There's the cross, way too much on it. Goalkeeper has to save, and it was a super intervention by Saranon Anuin. The Yuruki starting to threaten down the left-hand side, trying to pick his spot, far corner. Oof, it was on its way, it needed saving. Much better from Vissel Kobe going forward now. They look a different team at the start of the second half. That was a fine attempt by the substitute. Dropped out of the starting 11. He played and indeed contributed a brace in the first match. Looking to do his bit from the bench here. Osako in there. Where's it going to land? Wouldn't break for Gokeyuta. And all of a sudden, Chiangrai rocked back early in this second half. Well, Bojan with one or two sort of attempts at getting attacks moving, rolling the ball through, trying to provide a conduit between the back four and the forward players, Inui and Osako, but already Yuruki has had far much more impact patrolling the left-hand side. And Latina is going to mix it up again here. Kikuchi, Ryoho, now Sakai, Makino, Kobayashi Yuki, back for Yamaguchi, Kikuchi, making strides into enemy territory. It's Gokeyuta who swings it across, it just eludes Yuruki. So Kobayashi Yuki will let it roll out. Yamaguchi, good ball in, and just the touch from Osako. Well, just the touch was needed. There may have been no contact at all whatsoever as the ball flashed through. This is a dangerous cross. Osako does well to get in that airspace, and I don't think there's contact, any kind of nick there. And likely Anuin, it would have been wrong-footed. He sort of runs ahead of the cross, doesn't he? But it was a spectacular delivery from the left-hand side. And now we see a change. So Tsuserio comes on, left-sided defender. Again, he played in the 6-0. Blind ball back in field there by Yamaguchi, the captain. But they're just sitting a little bit deeper now, Chiangrai. Gokeyuta. Kobayashi Yuki, two in the middle. Wouldn't quite break there for the Goka. And that's straight at the goalkeeper from Ogihara. Well, nervy now, Chiangrai, rock back. They've suddenly woken up, it seems, Vissel Kobe. It's a clean strike from Aigara, but in the end, something of a training routine there for Anuin to just gather it at the other end. Chiangrai coming forward, and that's shoveled out by Makino. Suddenly it's opened up. Sivakun Tiatrakul to take this corner here for Chiangrai United. Swinging away from goal. Intervention from Kikuchi. Be picked up by Kohei Keito. Diagonal from the goalkeeper. Snapped up by Vissel. Pitewat. Captain does well. That's a delightful little pass. Tinjon. And on to Tiatrakul. Get enough bodies there to nip any potential threat in the bud. Makino. 10 minutes into the second half, and they look a lot more composed since the restart here to Vissel Kobe. Back in the AFC Champions League after an excellent league campaign last year. It was only their second stint in the ACL. They made it all the way to the semi-finals on their debut year in 2020. Something of a heartbreaking outcome as well, actually, when we got to the latter stages of that competition. Well, eventually the flag stops Ryoji Hirota. Big pass out from the back again from Makino. A couple of offsides in quick succession. But indeed, that's a 2020 Champions League semi-final before Latina's time resulted in a match with Ulsan Hyundai. They were undone by a last-minute goal, actually, which then prevented the game from going into extra time and possible penalties. Had the consolation of being knocked out by the eventual champions in the Koreans Hyundai. Really was last season in the 2021 J-League campaign, where everyone connected with the club and everyone had invested so much over the last decade or so and began to feel it was all coming together. They won 8 of their last 10 matches to move up from 4th to 3rd in the table. Asako was banging the goals in. They lost Furuhashi to Celtic midway through the season. Some good recruitment that kept them competitive. A long way adrift of Frontale, of course, in the final shake-up, but weren't far off being best of the rest. Surya Singh Mui. Makino should deal with this. Back to Mikawa. Oof. Bit loose. Good recovery. Kikuchi. Sakai. Helps the danger subside. Yuruki was the target, the immediate outlet, wide left now. Ogihara. Okay, Yuta fizzes in the cross. Kobayashi Yuki now. A little clip into the near post. Gettison, just enough presence about him to provide the threat to Kikuchi, but it was coolly done by the defender. Back to his goalkeeper. Yaruki gives that away. He was looking to play in Inui Shion, then tries to get back at Kohei Kato. Nicely worked. Infield it comes to Pitiwat. Now Chiangrai try and build something with it theatrical. In Bayern, theatrical again. Loves to pick out the passes. The captain, Pitiwat, is found Surya Singmui. Comes back through Verzua. And quickly down the line. The organisation sufficient there to suffocate that Chiangrai attack. Past the hour now in Buriram. At this point, 3 days ago, Vissel Kobe were 5 up on Chiangrai. As we know, the Thai side of the team in a graver need of a result here. Kobe, the bare minimum really is avoiding defeat. Still have control of the group. The defeat makes things very troublesome. Lovely stuff by Chiangrai. Gettison, perhaps they can work it into a bit of space. Theatrical, oh, shame that the pass was too heavy. But really neat, intricate play and a great approach work from Chiangrai United. It's just that final ball that is a little lacking. Here's Makino, or Vissel Kobe. 7 Japanese sides have got to the final of this competition. Japan, the most successful nation in Asian Champions League history, after the Saudi Arabians. They've contributed finalists on 11 occasions. That's 8 behind Saudi. Theatrical. Gettison goes square. And there's contact off Makino. And it's kind contact as well into Umekawa. But space opening up now, and space that the Chiangrai will hope to exploit. It's that final pass again, isn't it, that they can't find. Thai teams have been in the final 3 times, 2 victories, back-to-back wins in the mid-90s for the Thai Farmers Bank. Tero Sasana of Bangkok were beaten in the first final since this competition was rebranded in 2002-03. Good ball in there by Hatsuse. Osako made that dart. Not for the first time, he's not managed to connect with a header. That's a delightful ball though, almost impossible to defend against. And Osako, it's a header that lacks conviction really. Well, he kind of glances it when you wanted him to put his full weight behind it, Osako. He started the party with a 6-minute goal against Chiangrai in the first match. And 2 as well in the final 10 minutes in the qualifying round victory over Melbourne. Vissel. Kikuchi read the attempted through ball. Sadawut in Bayen. Gives it back to Brinner. Useful pass that as well into Ryuji Hirota. Again, Kobe organising such that they become difficult to pass through. Suriya ends up giving it away. Kobe doing their jobs. Gokayuta. There's the cross, not enough height. Brenner gets it away. And Tinjon just with a bit of a miscue, but it's picked up there by Pitiwat, the captain. He's had a very good match. Pitiwat, Sushid Hamakul. So pulling the strings in the middle of the park for Chiangrai United. So the first change, this is Hirota Ryuji being replaced by the defender Bubkao Jotepat. It's going to be a straight switch, I think, on the left-hand side. Bubkao dropped out of the team that started in the 6-0 match. Thai international. Tinjon. Vissel. Yamaguchi read the intention behind the pass. Sakai Gotoku. Oihara. Yamaguchi. Hatsuse. There's 2 banks of 4 again for Chiangrai, and then the 2 up top. Little lift over by Sakai. Gokayuta, no. Well, the intention was right, a runner from deep, that's the way to breach those lines. And not surprisingly at all, changes are going to be made. So Kikuchi Ryoho is going to be replaced, so too Sakai. So we have Leo Asaki coming on. Hidaka as well. Mitsuki Hidaka. depth of the squad being explored as it has to be by all the teams involved in the group stage here. So Leo Isaki again, it started the first two matches. So will the refreshed personnel produce anything more here for Vissel Kobe as they look to go 3 from 3? In Bayern just thrashes that forwards, and well, in that moment you begin to fear a little for Chiangrai United. Still 20 minutes to go here, and it looks very much like the Kobe are bedding in for a late surge to try and win this. Hatsuse. Oyihara. Sakai. Just helps it round the corner for Inoue. Just tries to clip it round. Asako was hovering there, back stick. Needed putting away. So Osaka goes at far post, runner at the near post. That was Hidaka. Cute little ball, well defended. Leo Isaki, who scored the crowning goal, the 6th in the first match. Now on the pitch to do some more damage late on here. The score still goalless in Buriram. There's the corner, and there's the really strong header away by Bayern. So Yuruki, he's done really well. Oh, the reach and the head over from Makino. Well played again. He's refreshed them, no doubt, down the left-hand side, Yuruki. And then Makino just extends back. He can't get over it enough, can he? To keep the ball down and on target. Well, finishing, obviously not his strong point, the resolute centre half. Tomoaki Makino. But has scored this season, actually scored in the Emperor's Cup final in December, the 2-1 win over Oita Trinita. And contributed another against Steaua Reds, second match week of the J1 season. That's to say, feels that Fumkau went down a little bit too easy. Oof, important challenge that by Bayern. Like Yuruki was going to pounce on that under-hit ball back to Sarawat Bayern there. Osaki. Inoue. Now, since he's come out to the right-hand side, Seems to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more space with which to try and pick out those passes and look to play it into Osako Yuya. Perhaps a starting position from which he can do a little more damage. Yamaguchi. Here he is again. And here is Shion. He waits to just play the cross off the defender. Surya Singmui. Plenty of movement inside the penalty area here. Shion plays it again, very heavy. Yuruki, nice little shimmy, tries to keep hold of it. Well, Kobe are going to be upset, they don't get the decision there. But once again, it was the fancy footwork from the substitute, Yuruki Koya, on the left-hand side for Vissel Kobe, tormenting Pereira and Chiangrai. Still they hold firm though, the Thai FA Cup winners. Tero Sasana of Bangkok beaten in the 2003 final, the first season since the AFC rebranded this competition. Al Ain, the Emirati team, were the first winners of the AFC Champions League in the current format. Competition, though, that started out life in the late 1960s, 1967, as the Asian Clubs Championship. Tel Aviv won the first against Selangor, the Malaysians. It was 02-03 that saw the Asian Club Championship, Asian Cup Winners' Cup and Asian Super Cup combine. Hatsuse looking to combine with someone in the middle to put the finishing touch on another good delivery. Hidaka gets forward, throws himself at it, still no header on target though. Well, the wide players, Yuruki Hatsuse down the left, and in particular Inui Shion down the right. They've used the width a lot more in the second half, but the crossing's been there, but the finishing hasn't. Well, that was a really good opportunity. It really was. Now we're going to have an injury stoppage. Looks to be Gettison, is in some discomfort down there. Well, Makino just wraps his leg round. And make of that what you will, the reaction to the challenge of Tomoaki Makino from Brazil's Gettison. Well, we see further changes here before the end from Chiangrai. Latina has thrown in plenty more dynamics into the mix in the course of this second half. I can't say they haven't tried or up their level. Had they got someone in there who could head the ball on target, then I think we'd have been looking at another win here for Vissel Kobe, but you have to put those chances away. So it looks to be Sirod Chaton. He's certainly getting ready here. Well, Gettison's going to try and run it off. Back on to Chiangrai come Vissel Kobe. 10 minutes to go here at the Buriram Stadium. Sakai Gotoku. Ogihara. Yuruki back to Hatsuse. A little bit slow on the uptake there. Vissel Kobe. Hatsuse dispossessed. Three coming forward. Pumkau, the substitute, can't do enough with it. They're playing a dangerous game there. Vissel Kobe eventually dispossessed. Pitiwat. Crafty ball into Pitiwat there from Anuin, the goalkeeper. Osaki. Big diagonal. Anyway, Shion tries to weave his way in field. Switched by Osaki. There goes Ogihara on the overlap. Instead it comes to the far post, and not for the first time. Hidaka can't connect properly with the header. Well, the 18-year-old, he certainly can't complain that he's not had a chance here to write the headlines for Vissel Kobe. Obviously too far out and the angle too prohibitive for him to go for goal himself there, but totally unmarked. He could easily have cushioned that back across. Sivakun Theatrical, who came closest here to a goal back in the 5th minute, is substituted with 10 minutes to go here. Sirod Chatong eventually comes on. Yuruki onto his right foot. Inoue was the far post target that time. Familiar little action. Checks back, cuts in on the left with his right peg. Brenner. Chaton, substitute with his first involvement, has an overlapper as well in support in Tinjon. Eventually holds it up, comes back to Vizora, and Tinjon will get the chance to cross into the near post. Twist and turn, and The good defending there, shutting down Surya Singbui. And then Asako Yuya tries to hold it up. And in comes the contact there from Brinner. Well, he'll take that. He'll take one for the team there, Brinner. A real gutsy, old-school defender. Well, they're clearly a better team with him in it. In his third year with Chiangrai United, Brinner Enrique Santos Souza. Played in Turkey. But clearly found his place here in this Chiangrai team. Now it's Hatsuse. Twisting and turning, is there room for the cross? Well, there's contact off the defender, enough to take the sting and enable it to drop into the arms of Anuin. He's had a good game, Pitiwat. Really impressed with him in the middle of the park. Anyway, Shion now. So much more effective since he came out to the right-hand side. Oigara. Sakai. Yuruki. Yamaguchi. Oigara. Sakai. Hatsuse. First touch wasn't sharp enough, just allowed Pumkao into challenge, but they will have to reset here from this throw-in as the seconds tick down. Nice little ball through. Hidaka furthest forward again. I didn't know which way to turn there or which way to deal with that. Well, he made the run and then, it's got to be so frustrating, really. And the build-up play was there. There's just the merest toenail on it, I think, from Tinjon, which perhaps made him break stride there. Hidaka. Still they plough on here. Again, it's Hatsuse. The left-hand side, deflection on the cross, behind for a corner. Backs to the wall stuff here for Chiangrai United as they try and see out this fixture and claim their first point of this Asian Champions League campaign. Well, Atina has looked at a pained man for most of the evening. Hatsuse sends in the corner. There's enough white shirts. And one of them picks it up in Yuruki. They were very slow there to sort of alert themselves to the danger of the dropping ball, Chiangrai. They should be dealt with. The goalkeeper's so far out, Mikawa. And he's ended up colliding there with Pumkao. Well, so far up the pitch there, Daya Mikawa. That's the problem, really. He tells everyone else to leave it. It's a horrible height for him to know how to deal with it properly. Oof, full throttle there, he's collided with Pumkao. Substitute goalkeepers on the bench, naturally. Not that they'll want Warawong to come on here. naturally with any head or neck problem, the immediate safety of the player involved is what's important. It seemed to be the flying body of Daya Makawa that connected with his neck in the midriff almost of Poom Kao. So the injury stoppage carries into injury time. Anuin saving Yaruki's curler. A rare bit of quality in terms of the end product from Vissel Kobe here. In the second half, when they switched it around, with Patsuse and Yaruki threatening down the flanks, Goke down the right, they've put plenty of pressure on the Chiangrai back line, but the finishing hasn't been there. Bandaged up, seemingly, and ready to see this match out. Saranon Anuin. Certainly a brave intervention by Daya Makawa as he raced out of his goal so far up the pitch, almost on the edge of the centre circle there. And Poom Kao himself substituted on in the course of this second half. So right at the end here, just to see it out, it's Setasit Sivanisat. A little unfortunate there for Poom Kao, but hope he's all right. And the cross takes a little nick from Yaruki through to Saranon. Looking a little dazed, understandably. Well, still no goals in this group for Chiangrai United, but a step in the right direction, certainly avoiding defeat after the 1-0 against Kichi and the 6-0 at the hands of Vissel Kobe 3 days ago. A big improvement here, supremely well organised display. Yes, they may have been clinging on a bit in the second half, but I think have earned a point here. Vissel Kobe will remain in control of this group. I expect them to go through as the group winners, but a runners-up spot is available thereafter. Inui to cross to the far side, and it's too high for Yaruki, and that may well be that, as much as they've tried in this second half with the switch around in the system. And that's a yellow card for Poom Kao, by the looks of things. Goodness me, seemed a little harsh, but we shall wait and see how the referee explains that one away. Play continues here. It was the injury stoppage on the top of the 3 extra minutes. that's a push by the substitute, Chaton. Now it's Getterson who's gone down.
Back.
Well, this is why Osaki comes in and leaves two Chiangrai players in his wake, and now he's landed awkwardly. Put a shift in, as of all of his colleagues here. Pereira's Chiangrai team going to the last match. They face Kichi. That comes 3 days from now, and then the next weekend, next Saturday, it's the Hong Kong team Kichi facing Vissel, Kobe, and that will be the match in which the Japanese side look to, well, cement top spot in the group. They could have done it tonight, but reckon without a way more resolute and a far more stoic display from the Thai FA Cup winners. Difficult to say really in the second half that they've struggled to break them down. Chances came and chances went. Vissel Kobe missed many an opportunity in the second half to record their third straight win in this group, but a 0-0 draw, it hardly derails their bid to finish top of the section and go through as one of the group winners here in the AFC Champions League. Chiangrai United avoid defeat for the first time, still no goals, but they've got a point, and that's certainly a step in the right direction. It was a bruising match in truth. The Chiangrai had chances in the first half, theatrical, denied by Mikawa. Probably the best opportunity in the second half came Vissel Kobe's way with Yaruki's curler, tipped away by Saranon Anuin. Good deliveries from either flank during the second half were not converted by a variety of Vissel Kobe players who were profligate ultimately in front of goal in the second 45 here. Final score in Buriram: Chiangrai 0, Vissel Kobe 0.